Mr. Irontrader, and this is the last call of the day here. So we're going to take a look at Bitcoin, at crude oil, and natural gas. And then we're going to take a look here at the indexes, the Dow, the S&P, and the old NASDAQ. At the end of the video, the support and resistance levels are posted for crude and natural gas. This video is for information purposes only, not recognized advice on a stock market ETF. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Okay, here we have Bitcoin, your daily and your weekly chart. Now you can see here how nice this is, just going to sideways action, and it came right on down. This is why you trade the charts. Where to go to? Right there to the 8-day. Okay, nice. Okay, now we had this inverse head and shoulders, left shoulder's head. Okay, right shoulder here. We had a nice double off that double bottom situation. I said we're going to be looking at here. We take this midline, we take this bottom here. We're looking at about 106, and we went to 106.270. Okay, so not too bad. But as you notice, the rise on up here, what did it do? It went sideways action, consolidation, popped up, consolidation, popped up, and now we're going to do this consolidation again very, very nicely. But as long as we're holding this 8-day, we're looking very, very nice. Now, if this 8-day is lost here at 101.43 level, then we'll come right down to the bottom of this candle right here, looking at 101.60 level, okay? And then what we do, we follow this candle right on over here. What do we got? You got 99,965, and then we'll come over here to the top of this candle here. You're looking at 98,615. Then we'll come to the bottom of this candle. Okay, you're looking at 97,350. And then we'll be looking right here for this 21 SMA at 96,285. Now, if you've been watching my videos, I said just let this go sideways. Let this 8-day kick, come right on up here, because the 8-day was way down here as this was going sideways. Let it catch up here. That's what we want to do, just like we had here. Okay, very, very nice. So this is, we're holding this nice sideways action. Now, upside, we want to look at today's high, 104.590. We'll look here to the top of this candle. You're looking at 104.955, and then we come up here, looking at 105.480, and then your big test up there is that 106.270 level. Very, very nicely, okay? So basically what we do is that we get above that, all you do is follow the price charts right across here, price channels, I should say, 106.945, and then we'll come up here. You got 107.485 here. Your big retest is going to be at 110. We crack that 110, it's going to be 115, just like a magnet to a fridge, and then we can move on and see how we probably consolidation, and then we can probably end up moving higher. I think by the end of the year here, you're going to be in that 130, 35 area, I think, realistically. But again, you got to look at these charts. See how we're getting this overbought condition here, okay? A lot of people piling in when they should have been piling in down here, okay? When you see this double bottom, that's what you should have been piling in, not piling in up here, okay? Now this is a trade. You hang on to what you got to, but if you lose that 8-day, you're going to come out to that 21-day, possibly that 100-day, real quick, okay? So always remember that. Now, easy way I trade this, IBIT for the long, BITI for the short, okay? So I got the long going, but if we lose this 8 SMA here on a closing basis, that's the key, on a closing basis. If we lose that, then I'll be in that BITI, and I'll take a short key all the way down here to this 21-day, and then I'll see what the reaction is, maybe even down to the 100-day or the 50-day. But again, right now we have a nice solid consolidation. Okay, here we have on the weekly. Look how nice this is here. See how your 8-day is moving up here? Look at this. Okay, look at that. Moving up very nice. About ready to cross over that 21-day. Got one more left here in a week. Day in a week here. Looking very, very nice. Now, if this keeps rising up here, this is the candle that we're going to be looking for here. That's at 108.960, because that was your high here. It came down, blasted up above, but you notice it couldn't close above that. That's the key. So just watch that 108.960 level, and then that 110. That's going to be your big retest, okay? But now, here we got this... we're sitting here underneath that overbought condition here, so that's not too bad. But your green just closed your red. If we get this little consolidation, sideways action, then we can have a nice good ripper head on up here. But that consolidation is always a good thing after this huge move. Okay, let's take a look here now at crude oil and at natural gas. Okay, here we have the old crude ski, and then we have natty gas. Okay, now natty gas came out there. They had a build of 110 billion cubic feet. They're expecting 109. So you're right there. But remember, natural gas is in its shoulder season. So always just remember that. It's basically what that means. It's just not in play right now. Okay, however, we get a hot summer. Okay, now we've got over here, over 81 degrees here where I am today. I'm up in northern Michigan. And I should say that's pretty warm. We get ourselves a hot summer. Those plants will be coming on here to kick up some energy, and natural gas will be burning. So never just say, oh, natural gas is done. Oh, no. This is a long way from being done. Okay, so here we have the old crude oil. You can see here we sold down, but look where we closed. right above the 21-day, and then right above that 8-day. That's why you trade the charts, okay? So I'm going to show you here a little bit. I'm going to put up the UCO that I trade, and I'll tell you where I bought it this morning, and I'm still holding on the long side here, okay? So here we have the old crude here. So downside, obviously, we want to watch right there. That's 61.15. Okay, that's your 21-day, and then we have that 8-day sitting right below it at 61.06. That's going to be key. If that's lost, we'll come to today's low. You're looking at 60.47, and we'll come down to the bottom of this candle here. You're looking at that 59.89 level. We come over top of this candle. You're looking at 59.50 level, and then we can just start right here. You're looking at that 57.74, and then we just keep right on rolling here. We have 57.03. Bottom of this candle here, we're looking at 56.39, and then your big retest at that 55.30 level, and then we have 55.12. This is going to be very, very critical. It needs to hold this on a no matter what condition. If not, you're going to go 53, 50, 47, and you can get all the way down to 43 level very, very easily. Now remember, T-Man does not want 70, 80, 90, $100 oil because he knows at the pump that's very big, expensive for people. So he wants to keep that price. Right now, Sam's over here where I am, $2.69 a gallon. Very, very nice going into Memorial Day. Okay, now here on the upside, here's what you want to watch. You want to watch the bottom of this candle, 61.65. We're watching the bottom of this candle right here. You're looking at 62.75. Then we look at today's high, 62.91, and then we'll come up to yesterday's high, 63.68. But this is your big target, is going to be that 64.11. That's going to be very, very crucial. And then right above it, we have your price channel at 64.87, which is basically just the top of this candle. Okay, very, very nicely. We get above that, we got to look to the left, 65.22. And then we'll come up here. We have 66.09. We'll come down to the bottom of this candle at 67.65. And then we'll be looking for a Hondo up here at 68.27 and 69.84. But we're going to need a catalyst here to break through this 50-day. You can see how the 50 days running down, 100 days running down, 200 days running down. Okay, very, very lot of strong resistance here. So right now what you're trading is the 50-day on the upside, 21 8-day there on the downside. Okay, so this is what we're trading kind of situation. RSI looking at 40, that can go either way. Green over your red, this is looking very, very good. But I think we're trading with the overall kind of a market kind of a situation. But let's just see how this all shakes out going down to Memorial Day. Now, natural gas here, well, we had this really nice run up. It was holding the 8-day. Once we lost that 8-day, what I already say, it's sideways to down. And look at what we have going on here. Now, this 21-day here, that's very, very crucial. 3.37. You need to get back a close above it. If not, what we're going to be doing, looking at today's low, 3.34. We're going to come right to the bottom of this candle here, looking at 3.26. And then here's your big target at 3.16. Okay, that's your 200 SMA. Now, if this is lost here, then we're going to look at the bottom here, okay, because we got a gap going here, okay, 305, there's your gap, and then right on top here is 298, there's your fill, and then we have 285, that's your retest, okay? So upside here, we're watching this 21-day, very, very key, 3.37. Then we go to yesterday's low, 3.63. We look at today's high, you're looking at roughly 3.5, and then we're going to look in for that 8-day at 3.58 level. Now, we can get above that, we're going to look for that 50-day, 3.69, and then we have your old 100 SMA here at 3.72. Now, I was kind of looking for a long here that we can maybe go back to that 8-day today, but it just didn't materialize, and I jumped in the KOLD. So the KOLD, we hit a nice, on the bottom, 22.95, and then we hit all the way up there at 24.51 today on the upside there. So that was roughly about a good point and a half. I got 75 cents out of it, but remember, I'm trading 5,000 shares, so I was very, very satisfied just with that on that trade right there, okay? So right now, we're just watching this 21-day and that 8-day. That's going to key. We start losing all of this. That 50-day or 200-day is going to be the target there. Upside, we have that 8-day. We can crack above that. You've got the 50-day and the old 100 SMA here. Now, 44, that's not overbought or oversold. The green is still over your red, so we got to see how it's all shaking out. But just is rolling over. I never like this pattern. See, when you see this pattern of high, lower high, lower high, lower high, and lower lows, that's never bullish. There's nothing bullish that says about that. We need some kind of a support level to bounce off and take her back higher. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up UCO right next to crude. Okay, here we have the old crude oil, okay, and then here we have UCO. This is what I trade. Now, during the daytime, okay, this got as low as 2082. I'm in at 2075 because what I did is I put my order in yesterday after 8 o'clock, and I woke up here this morning, and I'm sitting at the desk at 5:30. Yeah, I would say about 5:30, something to 6 there, and then it hit. So I got my UCO. I'm sitting long here at a 2075 level. So, okay, so this is the TOS platform. You can start trading at 8 o'clock at night, and that goes all the way from 8 o'clock at night till 9:30 in the morning is that aftermarket trade. So you could trade all night if you wanted to. There isn't that much volume, but what I do is I put my trades in, and then what I do is I snagged it. So now I'm sitting right there at 21.15, so I'm right there in the money. And I think we're going to rail at least back to retest that 50-day up there at that 2263 level, okay? Just like we're going to have here. I think we got to watch this candle, and we should be able to retest that 50-day, if not more, maybe up that price channel, okay? So again, I just want to put these side by side so you can see we're in pretty much the exact same kind of a chart here. But if you have that option where you can trade at night, what you do is you look at your crude oil, and what I do is I'm looking at the 21-day and your 8-day on the crude ski, but I'm looking also for the 21-day and the 8-day here, okay? So that's what I was looking at, and I put it in at a 27.5. It hit it, and now I'm sitting there. I'm a long position. So that's an easy way to make money overnight while you are sleeping. Okay, let's take a look here now at the old indexes. Okay, here we have the Dow, the old S&P, and we have the old NASDAQ. Now, you can see here how the Dow got a little bit of life, okay? So what we're looking at here is we're looking at that 8 SMA. See, I said be patient, let this 8-day catch up. And what is it doing? It's catching up. Now, today we hit this low of 41,777, okay? So the top of this candle right here is 41,773. So we have not filled this gap yet. There's just a little bit of gap there, but we're holding this key 8 SMA here at 41,682. Now what we're doing is we're pressing right up against this 200-day and the 100 SMA here, about that 42.3 level, okay? So now we're trading this range. Now, if we get above that, then we're going to go, and the recent high is 42.507. That's what we're going to be testing, okay? So right now here, let that 8-day catch up, and if we can, then we can look at that 100 SMA here, and we can look at this 200 SMA here. These are your targets. And then if we can get above that, then we're looking for that price channel at 42.507. Now, we get above that 42.507, then we're going to be looking for the top of this candle here on the Dow, looking at 42.821 level. So all we do is just bring those price channels across, and that's going to be all our upside targets, okay, and our upside resistant levels. Now, you look at the S&P here. Well, the S&P here, not too bad, okay? It's a little bit slower today, but remember that option expiration. So, you know, we haven't really changed a whole lot. They just want to draw you in there, and then the option people walk out with no money, okay? So we made this higher high today at 59.24 level, okay? So if this keeps running up here, what we're doing is we're going to bring this right across, and we're going to be looking for the top of that candle, 59.86 level, and then just work the candles up until you get to 61.47, okay? Now, downside, we still have this gap and never filled this gap here. So you have that 57.86, there's your gap. And then on the top of that, 56.91 gap and fill. But we have the 100-day sitting there very, very nicely. We have the old 200-day sitting there very nicely. And we have this 8 SMA sitting there. So there's a lot of support. So if this comes down and holds that level, that's still going to be a good buying opportunity here to either go sideways or even up on the scale. Okay, NASDAQ. Now, NASDAQ here is the only one that is down today, but this is just a tremendous run here, okay? So what we're looking for here is today we made a little bit higher high. You made that 19,207 level, okay? So your next level is we just bring this price channel right across here, and this is what you're looking for. It's going to be a 19,286 level, okay? Then we just venture right on up. What you got? You got 19,644. We come up here, and we're looking at 20,016. We just keep right on rolling up here. But again, as like the S&P, we left this gap. Okay, so if this sells down, it's going to be a matter of time where this sells down here. You got 18,472. There's your gap, and then we look at the top of this candle, 1868. There's your fill. But we have old Hondo sitting here, very, very nice, and we have the 200-day sitting there, very, very nice, and we have this 8-day. So we have the very similar charts on the S&P and on the old NASDAQ here. So if it comes down here, holds this level, that could be a good buying opportunity. Now, I just want to point out to you now that the Dow isn't that bad, but this is getting to an bought situation. See this overbought situation? It's going to be a matter of time. So I'm telling you, I've been telling you all week, it's a matter of time before these markets are going to correct. Okay, so just remember that. That's not going to keep running up, running up. When you see these charts here, all the way up here like this, all the way at the top here, these are going to correct, and they are going to come down. Okay, so just remember, take profits, put them in your freaking pocket, okay? You start on Monday. By the time you get to Friday, if you make profits every day, I don't care if you're making $25 a day. If you go by the end of the week, you got 125 bucks. If you make $100 a day, at the end of the week, you got $500. $1,000, you got $5,000. Okay? That's how trading is. That's how you sustain yourself in this business. I've been in here over 2 decades, and the key is consistent money. If you miss out on a little bit, who gives a shit? Okay? But look at this, how this is getting to an overbought condition here. So just remember that you are going to have a sell-off. So just always prepare yourself. Use stop losses. Okay, that's what I got for you. I'll be back tomorrow, and we got one more day left in the week here. Got to make it count. And remember, the following week here, we're going to have the Memorial Weekend. So it should be pretty good. So we got a good day tomorrow. Remember, trade what's in front of you, not what you want.